Back then, the big business figures who came to Wade's house and hoped to marry their daughter to Chang Ying are too numerous to count. Yanzheng couldn't help thinking back then that Chang Ying used the light of one person to cover the edge of all Eastcliffe's peers. At that time, everyone was sighing in their hearts. Why were they born in the same era as Chang Ying? Chang Ying was like a bright moon in the night sky. Who can compete with him? Thinking of this, Yanzheng can already conclude that Charlie is Chang Ying's son. He thought of Chang Ying's heroic posture, and his heart was immediately panicked. Looking at Charlie, he suddenly knelt on one knee and blurted with all his face, "Master, please forgive me for being clumsy. I didn't realize that you are actually the son of brother Chang Ying." Although Yangang hadn't spoken for a while, seeing his second brother kneeling on one knee, he immediately followed him and knelt down on one knee. Both Wei Liang and Wei Guang were blinded. They were young and didn't know Chang Ying's glorious deeds back then. Seeing that their father actually kneeled for Charlie, they were stunned. Wei Guang immediately wanted to protest loudly, but was grabbed by Wei Liang, who had a higher vision, and covered his mouth. This is, Yanzheng, who knelt on one knee, actually choked up and sighed. "When I was young, I secretly made a dream in my heart and bowed my head to worship Chang Ying. It's a pity that brother died young, so I never had the opportunity to learn a thing or two by his side. If I had the opportunity to learn a little by his side, I wouldn't be so dull today." The mention of Chang Ying's name still makes many middle-aged people in the Eastcliff family sigh. Because for these big families, no wealth is as important as a powerful offspring who can go straight ahead. Business world is like battlefields. Sometimes a slight deviation may lead to the annihilation and the destruction of the entire army. This is why many families have ups and downs in the game, and many even directly launched the stage of history. If a family wants to be prosperous, it doesn't matter how much money is in their hands, or how much land is in their hands. It doesn't matter how much land is in their hands. What matters is whether his descendants can continue to produce dragons and phoenixes. The prosperity of the Wade family today is inseparable from the solid foundation that Chang Ying laid 20 years ago. That's why people remember Chang Ying and regard him as a bright moon in their hearts. Charlie didn't expect that brothers Yanzheng and Yangang would kneel on one knee when they heard his father's name. Seeing that the two people's respectful expression was not hypocritical, the anger towards the two of them was slightly relieved. It took a few minutes. At this moment, Yanzheng turned his head and looked at his son Wei Liang and the third son Wei Guang, and blurted out, "You too, seeing the blood of brother Chang Ying, don't hesitate to kneel down and admit your mistakes." Wei Liang understood in his heart. Although he hadn't heard too many rumors about Chang Ying, he guessed that Charlie was a descendant of the Wade family of Eastcliff. Don't care about the Gu family and the Wade family belonging to one of the three major Eastcliff families, but the weaker ones are not even a little bit. Some people joked that the so-called three major Eastcliff families are actually nothing more than two dragons playing beads. The dragons refers to the Wade family and the Su family. As for the Gu family, it's just the bead. The Wade family's strength is much stronger than that of the Gu family. Even if the brothers Philip, Yanzheng, and Yangang are tied together, in front of the Wade family, they are not enough. What's more, Philip, the boss of the Gu family, stood with Charlie at this time. It is equivalent to the fact that the brothers Yanzheng and Yangang are not only facing the Wade family, but more than half of the Gu family. After all, Philip, the current eldest brother, seems to have recovered. He really needs to break his wrists. The second and third can't even break off the eldest son. Why are they talking about the Wade family? Therefore, Wei Liang did not dare to delay. He came to his father Yanzheng in 3 or 2 steps. He knelt on one knee and said devoutly, "Mr. Charlie, please forgive me for being clumsy, I didn't know your excellency." Wei Guang's brain is not as good as Wei Liang's, but seeing that, he didn't dare to ask more. He came forward and knelt on the ground, learning from his cousin in a decent way, and respectfully said, "Mr. Charlie, please forgive me for being clumsy." Charlie nodded slightly, and said coldly, "For your respect for my father, you just insulted me. I won't pursue it for the time being." The four of them breathed a sigh of relief at the same time. But Charlie immediately said, However, your two brothers were embarrassing, trying to seize the assets of my uncle, and also released news that uncle was seriously ill, and many directors wanted to usurp power on the board of directors. You must give uncle a clear solution, otherwise, I will not let you go. Yanzheng knew in his heart that this power-seeking plan had completely failed. Not only can they not beat eldest brother now, but they are also distracted from the board of directors. Relying on himself and my third brother, he wants to continue to fight against eldest brother. It is simply a dream. The best solution is to immediately recognize the council and strive to return to the previous state. So, he immediately looked at Philip and said sincerely, "Brother, this matter is my passion. I confessed my mistakes and punished. From today onwards, we will completely eliminate all attempts to refrain from returning, and wholeheartedly assist you in running the GU group."